Here we are, another day in Siam Reap. I'd actually been a little hopeful. I've been a little hopeful that it was going to thunderstorm. I saw those dark clouds moving in and saw the wind rustling the leaves. It was like, yes, there's going to be a thunderstorm. So I can be lame and sit up in a nice patio area and talk to you folks. But then, alas, no, it just got a little darker. But the wind has died down, and it's pretty obvious that there's not going to be a big rainstorm. So yay! Yay! I get to walk through Cambodian streets, crossing traffic. And I know some of you folks out there may be thinking it's a bit of exaggeration on how exhausting it is to cross streets in Cambodia and Thailand and all that kind of stuff. But believe me when I say, it is truly an exhausting thing. And you just gotta go for it. You just gotta walk. You just gotta be like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm walking. Because nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care. But anyways, let's start giving you some views. Because you don't want to look at me. You want to look at what Cambodia, Siam Reap looks like. So we're just walking through one of the streets here. So as I understand it, this is the French quarter of Siam Reap. And overall, like I say, it's very nice. This is, yeah. This may sound surprising to say, but this is a very easy place to walk. You go down through the French Quarter here, and you're like, wow, this is so easy to walk. Which I think probably says a lot of stuff about Southeast Asia. The fact that coming here is like, ooh, this is relaxation. Yeah, that probably says a lot of stuff. But anyways, this is what it looks like. Very nice. They sell all kinds of art for some reason. You do wonder who buys it. That's my favorite cafe right now. It is, where's the sign? There was a sign there. But I go there every day, get 1 or 2 cups of coffee. Oh, it's called Cafe Central. Cafe Central. Eli, is the coffee good? No, not particularly. I don't know what it is in Asia. I don't know what it is with most of the world. I really don't know how to do good coffee. But it's good enough coffee. And they're really nice and polite, and they give you clean mugs. And so really, a clean mug is a win. You remember when I was in Bangkok and I felt really stupid talking to a camera? Remember when I used to say, oh, I feel like a complete idiot. Now I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. I think this is a perfect example of what I try to tell you folks about kind of like that rule of 20. Like you got to do something like 20 times. Like the first time you do it, you feel like a complete idiot. And the second time you do it, you feel like a complete idiot. And then like somewhere along the lines, you just don't really care anymore. You're like, huh, look at all these people looking at me. I really don't care because this is my job. I'm a professional vlogger, and I don't care what you people think. You will not microaggress me. You will not belittle YouTube content creators. We are people too. Oh, am I becoming millennial? Is it possible for like a Gen Xer to like devolve to millennial? I am being microaggressed. These streets, these are problematic streets. I want the world to know that the streets of Cambodia are problematic. I don't know. What am I talking about? I hope you know what I'm talking about, because I don't know what I'm talking about right now. It's been a hot day. It's been like 100-degree heat with like 80% humidity. Oh, I've just been wandering around. But here, let's go over. Let's cross the street. Like poor people. Yay! And more and more and more. And you just keep your head high, and you just look around. You're like, I don't see this. But you do see beautiful rock. You see beautiful water over here. Look at that. That's very nice. That is awesome. I do have to say, like, some of the vistas, some of the views, just truly, truly are world class. You just look at it and you're like, wow, that is utterly amazing. Like, look at that. Isn't that road over there so beautiful? You just look and you see all the tuk-tuks and the scooters and the bicyclists go by. You're like, wow. That seems so calm and nice. And it does seem calm and nice from a distance. But in about 2 minutes, we're going to be crossing that mess. And I'm going to be about losing my mind. But I'm going to do that. Because I am a professional content creator. And that is what content creators do. I'm very happy. We're actually making money. Yay! We're making money. We're up to like $107. So again, just so everybody's clear, if I want to make this a production, get this up to production scale, I need to make about $5,000 a month to break even on this project. But even with that being said, I am happy that we are now up to, for ad revenue, we're up to $107 per month on this channel. and we're up to $87 on Patreon. So we're almost up to $200 a month for me risking my life crossing roads in Southeast Asia. Yay! That's worth it. That's a return on investment. That's a cost-benefit analysis right there. Well, Eli, let's see. You can sit there talking into a camera, risking your life crossing roads, and you can make $200 a month. Yay! Oh, well, again, the whole thing is the curve. The whole thing is the curve. The plan is at some point in the future, it will be far more than $200. But anyways, we're now walking on the other side of the river. So one of the last times we talked, we walked on that side of the river. And that's where all the traffic is. So that was a complete and utter pain in the ass. So now we're walking, obviously, on this side of the river. And it's still a pain in the ass, but at least it's a little bit easier. But it's kind of nicer over here. It's nice over here. It's a little more quiet over here. It's a little more of that residential neighborhood. And not only that, but it seems like they're trying to make it a little more upper class over here. So, I mean, upper class, gotta say that a little tongue in cheek. Because if you look, can I get that shot? Oh, not that way. Look at that. So see, they have the nice, pretty Hard Rock Cafe. It's a Hard Rock Cafe, Cambodia. Come on, focus. Anyways, you can see it. That's right there. So I guess on this side, they're trying to make it a little more upscale and shishi. So we're just gonna be walking over here today because I haven't shown you folks over here. Oh, I don't want to cross this road. Okay, even the Cambodians are like, this is fucked. You can't even see it. They're all like, ooh. And so what you do is you go in a group. You're like, oh, look. If there's enough people, we're too big of a mass, and you won't run us over. Yay! That's called physics. This is how they should teach kids things like math and science in school. To be like, if you have a motor scooter, and your motor scooter can run over, I don't know, so much mass, and a kid is this amount of mass, and a woman is this amount of mass. If you have two males and a baby, can the motor scooter run over those people without it causing the motor scooter damage? See, if you started doing that, then high school teachers would be worth their money. That would be awesome. But instead, they're gonna keep trying to teach you using oranges. Nobody cares about oranges. I had an idea for an education program for math. I still think this would be good. And this is a stealable idea. You can steal this idea. And this whole thing, when I was trying to figure out how to make everyman IT and all that into a business, I was coming up with different ideas. And so one of my ideas was actually to teach math and like the physical sciences, like physics and that kind of stuff, using war scenarios. And so my idea was gonna be called Boys Like Bombs. And so it literally, what I thought about is like, if you really want to teach, like at least American boys, a lot of math, you start doing things like literally, like how many people would an X megaton bomb kill? So you can do the math. It's like, okay, well, if you have a city that has a population density of X, and then you have a nuclear warhead with a yield of Y, and the yield of Y will destroy this certain amount of people, but then the population density of a city decreases as it goes out to the suburbs. Then what would be the expected casualty rate if a 2 megaton bomb went off in the middle of the city? I really thought that was a good idea, and I really do. Like, you could do like gas attacks. So, if this gas agent was released into the atmosphere and it has a mortality rate of, Z, with the wind speed of X, blah, 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 how many people would be expected to die? And I know a lot of people are just probably losing it right now hearing that. But I swear to you, if you taught little boys math that way, they would be so much more interested. Screw the, if you have 3 apples and I have 4 oranges, how many pieces of fruit do we have together, man? I'm saying, what would be the casualty rate of sarin gas? I'm just saying. That's how my mind works. Which is probably why I'm not great for polite conversation. Because you start telling high school teachers that this is the way to teach math. And they just don't appreciate it. I don't know why. I have no idea why they don't appreciate it. I think it's because they're stupid. That's my opinion. I'm gonna start getting like high school teacher hate. I don't really care though. High school teachers are such a disappointment. I'm one of those people, like, as much as I give like teachers and teacher unions crap, one of the things you do have to realize is I was actually one of those kids that believed in the teachers and the teachers unions. Like, while all the other kids were like rebelling and calling the teachers, you know, piles of crap and all that kind of stuff, I was the one sitting there going, no, they're doing a good job. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're here for us. And now, just for perspective, it's, you know, 20 some odd years later, and I'm looking at it going like, no, they're in it for their own pension funds. I really, it may not be politically correct to say, but I have no sympathy for them. I have a little bit of sympathy for them, but not much. I mean, you have to think about it. These are the teachers. These are supposed to be the academics, the ones teaching our kids how to think. And you got to look how badly things are going for them. I mean, like think about that, like with the teachers and the teacher unions and all that. So teachers are supposed to be showing our kids how to think. They're supposed to be showing them how to think and be able to act in a modern world. Fucking tuk-tuks, scooters everywhere, and I don't want to die. What's this guy doing? He's just like, yeah, whatever. Anyways, so they're doing all that, but then, so they're supposed to be thinking about all that. They're supposed to be teaching our kids how to think about the world, and yet they do things such as they allow their unions to negotiate for pension funds that are not fully funded. Like, does that make any sense? You know, you go back and you think about your geometry teacher and your algebra teacher and all those fucking word questions that you had to do. And like, I want to go back to these same teachers and be like, hey, let's do a word question for you. Let's do a word question. So, you know, let's put this out in paragraphs and be like, okay, so somebody negotiates that teachers are going to have $1 million in retirement fund, right? Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, and then there is no negotiation to guarantee that funding actually happens. So then the politicians don't fund it at all, and therefore there's no money in the account. Okay. So how much is $1 million pension fund worth if there has been zero funding for it? It's called zero. And you know, these are the people that are teaching our kids. We wonder why our kids are so screwed up. It's like, why are our kids all so airy-fairy? Because their own teachers and all these people in these pensions, I mean, they negotiate things, but one of the things they don't negotiate is even simply the requirement that things are funded properly. I don't even get this, like I say, with the unions. Everybody's all pissed off with like the man and the banks and all that kind of stuff. Your union leadership did not mandate a guarantee that these things are funded. And then you're teaching our kids. No. Well, I guess nothing's better than something. I guess nothing's better than something. I guess something's better than nothing. But we wonder why our kids are all screwed up. Because promises don't matter. Again, because all our teachers like, we've been promised. Did at any point did you verify, distrust, verify, say suspicious? Did at any point you decide to verify that what had been agreed on was actually happening? No. And they're teaching our kids. It's one of the reasons I give them crap. But anyways, another nice view, a nice view of this river in Siam Reap, and also the interesting care they keep of their public projects. So this is actually supposed to be a nice little walking thing, right? So if you look at this, you can see over there's railings from who the hell knows when. So this is supposed to be a nice little place where you go out and stand out there and take a look at the water. But yeah, we're not going to do that because I don't want to die today. Again, this is one of the things like with projects too. Like this is one of the problems with the modern world is everybody always funds construction. Everybody always funds, like getting things built is very easy. Getting people to pay for things to be built is relatively easy. But then getting money for basic funding for maintenance just never seems to happen properly. Like this should be an absolutely beautiful park here. But it's just been left, I mean, just like, look at all the stuff, it's all the crap all piled up. And again, I don't mean to be like too snarky on the Cambodians, it's their country, they can do whatever they want. But think about this. This could be an absolutely like world class. This really would. Like if this was all just clean, basic maintenance, basic cleanup, this would be a world class park. But instead, there's just crap everywhere and things falling apart and the rest of it. And again, you know, I talk about different countries and why some countries are successful and others aren't. I'm not saying the U.S. is always perfect with this. But again, if you look at communities like in the U.S., the ones that are successful, the ones that do well, are the ones that are willing, the ones with a population that's willing to do work even when they're not getting paid. Because again, think about this. Siam Reap, right? This area makes its money off of tourism. Tourism, people like me. I am Eli, the failed normal guy, and I'm a tourist. And I spend money, right? That's what we do, right? And so the nicer these areas are, the prettier they are, the more people like me talk about it, the more people want to come here, the longer people want to stay, so on and so forth. Like with my wife and I. So we originally booked for 3 nights, and then we booked for another 3 nights, and then we're probably going to book for another 3 nights. And so because we enjoy Siam Reap, we're going to spend 9 nights here instead of 3 nights. And so you got to think about how much money that. I mean, that's money going to the hotel rooms, that's money going for the tour guide, that's money. And so you got to think about it. So like Siam Reap, you know, their whole economy, their huge economy is based off of tourism. And so it's really interesting to see an area like this that is so set up for tourists, just in such utter complete disrepair. And it's that whole idea, like I talk about, where like people don't seem to understand how they get paid sometimes. Maybe they don't care. Maybe the Cambodians are like, screw it, they don't care. But I'm just saying, if I was Cambodian and I had to pay the bills, I would care. I guess that's just my thought. Oh, anyways, that is just my thought. Look at that. Nice places over here. And yeah, people have been surprised. They said they've been surprised like how many SUVs and cars and all that. I do have to say, I have been very surprised with how many SUVs and cars. I've even seen Porsches over here. Well, I've seen Porsches in Thailand. I don't even know what the hell you have to do in life to get a Porsche in Thailand. That's like absolutely like ridiculous, right? A Porsche, what the hell? It was a Porsche, I think it was a Porsche Cayenne. So aren't those like 120,000 US dollar cars, like in the US? Woo-hoo-hoo. I want to show you guys something. So what the hell do you have to do in Thailand to get one of those things? Anyways, I want to show you guys this because this is kind of cool. We come over here and see these nice brand new buildings. One of these nice brand new buildings. And then you can see the scaffolding. Look at that scaffolding. Look at that stuff. You want to talk about, holy crap, how these people survive. Like literally, that is the outside scaffolding for them working on these nice, pretty modern buildings. Holy crap. How did they not die? I'm impressed with the males here. Let me tell you, any man who gets on that crap, I mean like, I say crossing the road's a pain in the ass. I can't imagine getting on that kind of scaffolding and like trying to survive the day. That'd be like ridiculous. Anyways, what was I going to talk about today? Oh, I was going to talk about YouTube as therapy. That's right, I have a point. Damn it, I accidentally hit the button. Anyways, thankfully I know when I hit the button so I can splice this together later. But anyway, so I have a point. I have a point. Eli has a point? Oh, damn it, that's no fun. No, I have a point. I was going to be talking about YouTube as therapy today. Because I think this is a big thing that's coming up more and more and more in the YouTube world. And there's just generally, in the bigger world, has to do with social media and the modern world of communication and all that kind of stuff. So I figured I would talk about it today. Because I think it's going to start causing more and more people a lot more issues. We're getting skittish about these roads. Like, don't kill me. Anyways, okay, so we're going to cross this road, and then we're going to get into YouTube as therapy. If I still have any brain cells left. Fucking hell. You ready for this? You ready for that? Okay, look at that, look at that, look at that. They're blocking it up. They're blocking it up, and this guy's blocking it up. Oh, there we go. Oh, damn. There we go. Woohoo! Oh my gosh. It is stressful. It is fucking stressful. How do these people do it? Oh my god. And now there's not a sidewalk over here, which means I gotta cross that way. Okay. Going. There, yay, we go. See, this is why poor people, their lives are so stressful. Can you imagine back home if this is what you had to do every day? Like just to cross the road. It's so nice back home. Like I say, to cross the road, you look left, you look right, you cross the road. And they have nice big signs back home. that basically tell motorists that if you hit a pedestrian, you're going to jail. Here, not so much. Here, they're like, well, you know, if you hit a pedestrian, we do consider that a bad thing. But on the whole, probably not the worst of things. Just, you know, try not to hit a pedestrian. Anyways. Alright, let's go down here. Because it is hard. Again, a lot of you folks don't realize how hard these Let's Lives are in a way. It's like about 100 degrees with, I don't know, 60-70% humidity. Trying to cross roads in Cambodia. Having all these people like look at me like a complete and utter idiot. It takes a lot of work to do this. You know, I'm not one of these people that phone it in. When I create content for my YouTube channels, I literally put my heart and soul into this shit. I'm starting to think that might not have been the best idea for my channel. I'm starting to like look at what Santoro or whatever, be like, maybe I should do top 10 videos. That looks like a lot better way to do it. Yes, how many million subscribers? Maybe that's what I should do. I should just phone it the hell in. Not only should I phone it in, but I should steal other people's ideas and phone it. That's the best thing. But this Matthew, whatever, Santoro, whatever, he's a bald guy that kind of looks like me. Not only is he phoning that shit in, not only is he phoning it in, but he's stealing his material to phone it in. That boy is smart. Let me tell you, he is a hell of a lot smarter than me. So I'm out here like fucking sweating my hoo-haws off in the middle of Cambodia, trying to come up with something interesting to talk about. And he just steals his material. And then even after he stole the material, he still phones it in. Whew. If you don't know what that's about, go look at Drama Alert. Go look at Grade A Under A's latest video, and you will know. Grade A Under A phoned that one in too. I do have to say, that was like a 22-minute mess. But anyways, we're not here. Eli, what the hell are you talking about? You're just going all like spastic on YouTubers. What the fuck's wrong with you today? It's hot. It's hot. I've crossed too many Cambodian roads, I'm telling you. It cooks your brain after a while. But anyways, you don't want to hear me complain about YouTube. Well, maybe you do want to hear me complain about YouTubers. But anyways, not here to complain about YouTubers. But starting to talk about YouTube as therapy and why this can be a bad thing. So the first person that I saw that openly talked about YouTube as therapy was our good old buddy Louis Rossmann. So Louis Rossmann over on his little motherboard repair channel was talking about using YouTube as therapy. And I hadn't really thought about it until he spelled it out. And again, there's a lot of ideas that run around in your head that you don't really think about it until somebody like spells it out perfectly. So he kind of spelled it out perfectly. And he was talking about how he was going to a therapist. So he's like 27 years old now. He runs his business, and like everybody, he's probably screwed up. Well, obviously he's screwed up because he went to see a therapist. Hey, I'm not saying he screwed up. I'm saying that he thought he was screwed up enough to go with therapy. It's not my, no, I didn't say it. He said it. Anyway, so he was talking about, so he went to a therapist for whatever reason. He never really explains why he went to a therapist. Fair enough, I don't care. Don't fucking care, honestly don't. So he's going to a therapist, right? So he's going to a therapist for whatever reason. And him being a computer repair person, this is hilarious. And the worst part about his story is you're like, yeah, I can see that. It's one thing like when people tell stories, and you're like, I don't know, it seems a little fishy to me. But then there's other times people tell stories, you're like, yeah, been there, done that kind of thing. Oh, that sucks. But anyway, so Louis Rossmann first talked about this with, he went to a therapist for whatever reason, because he's screwed up in the head. Again, I'm not saying he's screwed up in the head. He's saying he's screwed up in the head. So he's all screwed up in the head. He's going off to see a therapist for whatever reason. And then he goes to see a therapist, and the therapist knows that he's a computer repair person. So then he's sitting there paying this therapist to fix him when the therapist starts asking him computer questions. And he's like, what the hell? Because, I mean, this, it's not like he's in the military service and he's getting therapy for free or whatever, and then the therapist is being a nitwit. He's actually apparently paying the therapist for the therapist who then end up asking him questions about computers. At which point he said, well, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. And so for whatever reason, who the hell knows why, apparently he decided talking into a camera and recording it for YouTube was a way to go. That would become his therapy. So the idea is he talks about whatever it is he wants to talk about, then he can listen to himself, say the words, and listen to it later, and then realize if he's full of crap. Right? Because a lot of times it just requires that you listen to yourself talk, and you realize how crappy you are. There's different the brain works on different, scientifically speaking, the brain actually works on different levels. So when you think something, the information gets processed actually differently than when you say something versus when you write something. So if you really want to make sure that you know what the hell you're talking about, as you would say, the best thing to do is to think about the problem, then to talk about the problem, basically even if it's with a wall, and then to write about the problem. If you do all of those things, it fires off different crap in the brain, and it gets you to see your own perspective in a different way. You know, some people talk about that, like writers used to talk about that a lot. Back when writers could pay the bills, you know, writers used to talk about that a lot, where it wasn't until they wrote down an idea that they understand it. It's like, you know, they basically said, you know, I have an idea in my head, but I won't know if that idea is good or not until I take the time to write it down. And then they would write it down, and then when they actually saw the written word on paper, that would change how they saw it. Now the thing, I mean, it's the same idea that's in their head. You know, they're thinking this thought, but then they put it down on paper, and somehow taking the idea from a thought, from a mental image, and putting it on paper changed how their own brain saw it. Even though, again, it's their own idea. We're not talking about somebody else's idea, it's their own idea. And so audio or talking about things is the same way. When you talk about things, it fires off different processes in the mind to allow you to look at things differently. And so one of the things I've done for a long time, and this will become as a shocking surprise to anybody watching these videos, is that I learned a long time ago to talk to myself. I know, shocking. I know you're gonna be like, what? Do you mean Eli talks to himself? No, Eli. I would never imagine that you're somebody that talks to themselves. It's just shocking. I just can't believe that, Eli. Believe it. It's true. I do talk to myself. Fuck. I do talk to myself when I cross roads. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at this. Okay. We ready for this? Bow, wow, wow. Fuck, now. Oh, we ready for this? 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 I'm just trying to get across the fucking road. Boys and girls are across the road. Boys and girls. There we go. Oh. Cambodians do this crap every day. I think this is why the tuk-tuk drivers always ask you. They always look at you like an idiot for trying to walk in Cambodia. They're like, why? These crazy white people, why do they try to walk everywhere? Don't you know trying to walk in the city is stupid? It's like, yeah, I don't know, we're stupid people. I'm sorry. I hate to tell other people in Asia this fact. The Western world is not necessarily smart. We are powerful, we are wealthy. We're not necessarily the smartest creatures around. Oh my god. Anyways. Okay, so verbalization or whatever. Basically, making the thought different, or expressing the thought in different ways allows the brain to fire in different ways, and allows you to think, to actually listen to what you're saying differently, and it's a good old thing. Right? So I've talked to myself for years. Just normal thing. So for whatever reason, Louis Rossmann decided he was going to talk into a video camera in order to listen to himself talk. And so he could figure out what he was actually saying. And then sometimes he realized he was saying incredibly smart things, and then sometimes he realized he was being a dumbass, which is useful. And again, like I say, it's not about whether you're smart today or tomorrow or whatever. It's about... Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that thought. Anyways, all right, it's good. It's good to know when you yourself sound stupid so that you can change your mind, right? It's one thing to say a stupid idea once. It's one thing to get on your high horse. I get on my high horse. I am on my high horse, and I believe, right? You know, you do that once, and whatever, it's not bad. Problem is when you do it again and again and again and again, and you keep reiterating the same stupid thought, because at some point, somebody who actually matters is going to listen to what you say, and then they're going to realize what you're saying is pretty fucking stupid. And then they're just going to hit the spam button on you, right, and never listen to you again. So if you talk about something, you verbalize, and you can hear it different ways, then you can realize, oh, what I said was actually asininely stupid. So I'm just never going to say that again. Right? And again, you cover it all up. I had a drill sergeant talk about that before, where he said he was always right. He said, I am always right. He was like one of those Southern boys, he was a massive fucking Southern boy, beast of a man, right? He said, I'm always right. We're like, drill sergeant, how can you always be right? I said, well, here's the thing, right? When I find an answer to something that I know is true, then I will argue. I will argue for it till the end. I will argue for it because I know it is right. Okay, but what happens if you find out that you're wrong, that you're arguing for the wrong thing? Say, well, here's the thing. I will argue, and I will argue because I know I am right. I know what I am saying is right. I know, right? But then as soon as you can out-argue me, as soon as you can convince me that in fact that you are right, well, then what I do is I change my opinion, and then I argue my new opinion. Because it is right. It is an amazing idea. And again, you're saying, like, look at a beast of a drill sergeant. And it's like, you don't know how to really, it's somewhere between like egotistical and humble. Like, I don't know where the line between egotistical, it's saying that I am always right, and yet also saying that as soon as he sees a better opinion, that he'll change his mind. But anyway, so you verbalize this stuff, and then you can always be right, because then you can hear yourself say, and then you can change. And somebody say, well, I thought I heard this on a video. Be like, oh man, I was drunk that day. I know, I should take that video down because I was kind of, anyways, so, I'm tired, it's so hot. But anyways, so he talks into the video camera, and he uses it for therapy, and I don't know, he's up to like 57,000 subscribers now, and has been trucking along, so I guess that does well by him. Again, not what Eli planned to do way back in the day, but hey, to each his own. Again, like I say, with this whole YouTube concept, everybody has this idea, like there's some system. This is how you become a YouTube content creator. And the cool part with YouTube content is we are so new. Again, YouTube itself is only 10 years old. Like, YouTube is only like 10 or so years old. And that's like the entire frickin' platform. Really, YouTube, in a version that most people would be able to identify, really is much younger than that. Maybe 8 years old. If you're a vlog brother, if you like vlog brother content, maybe 8 years old. But then if you like long form content, if you like videos over 15 minutes long, again, I only really came over to YouTube. What the hell? It's like you just walk along and you're like, huh, I wonder whose grave that is. Are you creeped out yet? And this is where the horror movie begins. The Eli Witch Project. Eli with a video camera in the middle of Cambodia. Bah, 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 bah. Oh no, did you see the ghost? Did you see the ghost? What's that? What's that? Ah, it's a grave. Oh no. Anyways, the cool part about YouTube is, we all come to it for our own weird reasons, and you can come to it for any reason. Again, one thing that gets lost by a lot of people, but they don't seem to understand, is all YouTube is. Because a lot of people are trying to make up rules now. Well, the way you do YouTube is, no. I mean, the good or the bad thing about how Alphabet is dealing with YouTube is simply just a fucking platform. It is just a platform. Here's the deal. As long as you don't call for violence or do something along those lines, and as long as you stay the hell as far away from copyright as you possibly can, otherwise, Alphabet don't give a damn what you do. They don't care what your background is. They don't care where you came from. They don't care what you're trying to accomplish with video. Basically, all they care is that you upload video. Okay? If you try to upload a painting, it's not going to work. How do I shove this oil painting in the slot? That's not going to work. Right? They don't want oil paintings. They do want video. So as long as you upload video, they really don't care. 4K, 144p, 360, 3D, whatever, as long as it's video, right? And so while you come, whatever. There's no barrier, and that's an important point that we're going to come back to in a couple seconds. So we all come here for whatever reasons. Again, I came here as a business. I came here to make money, and I know a lot of people seem horrified with that thought. Eli, what do you mean? What do you mean you came to YouTube to make money? It's like, well, I don't know about anybody else, but I got a mortgage, and I got utility bills. And I have to pay to go to hospitals in Thailand. Money doesn't fall off a tree. It's not like, oh, look, there's a dollar bill. I don't know how other people make money, but I got to make money somehow. So anyways, I came to YouTube for money. But a lot of other people come for a lot of weird reasons. Now, why I talk about coming to YouTube for money is, oh, yeah, we heard this shit before. Yeah, calm down. The reason I talk about that is because I have found that in some ways, YouTube is a bit of a therapy. Stretch. Oh, look at that. Sandals without socks. Look at me. I am being a rebel. I am being a rebel. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful foot? Oh, pretty foot. I like my foot. Look, you can even see like veins and stuff on my foot. So nice. You don't know how much you miss veins on your foot until you don't see the veins anymore. And then you're like, ah. Anyways, so basically I came to this whole thing for as a business and all that. But then one of the things that I found that's therapeutic in a way is that YouTube allows me, a little bit like how Louis Rossman does it, to actually be able to talk about my full thoughts and be able to get out full sentences. Which is very useful. And again, this is going to come up more as we talk about it. Because the thing is, as I talk about, is I am an Aspie. Or something along those lines. Again, actually, I'm not an Aspie. People are like, Eli, you're not an Aspie. And of course, you're absolutely 100% correct. Because slightly after I realized that I was an Aspie, when the fucking bastards took out Asperger's as a disease. This, like, Eli, because I always talk about, like I say, I don't know whether the spaghetti monster likes me or hates me. I just know the spaghetti monster has an opinion of me. And this is just like one of those times where you just sit there and you're just like, what the So I said, I have all these issues all my life. I finally figure out what the issue is. I have something to cling to. And then like literally like 4 months later, fucking rip it out of the diagnostic chart or whatever, and it no longer exists. You're just like, son of a bitch. You're just like, come on, monster. Like, seriously. Can you just throw me a bone every once in a while? Can you just be like, here you go, Eli. We're just gonna make something fucking normal for you. You're gonna be diagnosed with something, and then that fucking disease is gonna last a little more than 4 months before they decide to shit can it. But no, that's not how the world works. I figure out I have something, and then the whole psychological community decides about 4 months later, nah, that doesn't really exist. I have to go into an autist rage at this point. But anyways, you don't want to see an autist rage. Oh, you want to see me cross yet another road. But anyway, okay, so one of the things that I've found is rather therapeutic, because as I typed before, I have something. Who the hell knows what it is? Because what I had before no longer exists. I just wrote it out. We don't like that. You don't have that anymore. Why don't I have the flu? Because we got rid of the definition of flu, therefore you don't have flu. What? What do you mean? Then what do I have? We don't really know. Like, I'm sick. No, you're not sick. Why am I not sick? Well, because we don't define what you have as a sickness, and therefore you're not sick. What? But that's stupid. Yeah, but that is the world. And I do want you to think about that for a second. Like, as dumb as that whole thing just sounded about how the real world works, think about that. You are sick, or you are anything, simply because it is something that is defined. And if it's not defined, you really aren't it. But I'm sick. No, you're not. But I am. Yeah. No, but what you have, we don't have an official definition of, and therefore it doesn't actually exist. Yeah, but I have it. No. Anyways. Oh, we're back to this road, aren't we? So I've got this whole Aspie thing going on, which allows me to sit here and talk into a camera in the middle of third world countries. Oh, because the pays bills. Holy shit. Shit. Alright, how are we going to do this? Hey, look, there are cute girls over there. Are they going to try to cross? Oh, no. They're just going to look at me and laugh. Okay, boys and girls, how the fuck do you do this? No, like, seriously, like, how do Cambodians do this? I don't know. They don't even know how they're going to do it. So I guess I'm just going to, like, walk in a minute. I'm just going to fucking walk in front of something. Mommy, can I go home now? Alright, well, I gotta go. I need to go. Is he gonna stop for me? Ooh, thank you. You're gonna stop for me. And you're gonna stop for me. There we go. Because that's what you got to do. Basically, when you're in Cambodia or any of these Southeast Asian countries, you got to look the driver straight in the eye and go, you know what? I'm not worth the $10 stain that's going to be in your bumper if you run me over. Again, that's one of the lessons you learn in life about how to succeed. It's not about winning. It's not always about staying out of the hospital. It's just looking that person in the eye and going, you know what? If you get into a fight with me, I'm going to give you a fucking paper cut. Yeah, motherfucker. That paper cut is going to be annoying as hell. And for like the next week, you're just going to have this horrible little irritating paper cut. Yeah, do you really want a paper cut? I'll be like, fuck, I don't want a paper cut. You don't have to get into the conversation about you're going to be like in the hospital and long dead by the end of the week because they just pummeled the ever-loving shit out of you. You just got to look at them in the eye and be like, yeah, you really want a paper cut? I'm going to fucking give you a paper cut. Because a lot of people, again, that's a funny thing. Why most people are not successful in life is because they always think about what the other person can do to them. Oh no, but Eli, but if that van hits me, or if that tuk-tuk driver hits me, I'm gonna be dead. Right, and that's what they focus on. That's what I focus on. Motherfucker, I will leave a $5 smear on your bumper. Ooh, I don't want a $5 smear on my bumper. It's amazing how successful it is. You look that big ass beast in the eye, you say, motherfucker, I'm gonna give you a paper cut. Like, damn it. We're in Cambodia. If I get a paper cut, it might get infected. Oh, it's just not worth it. Anyways, random stuff. So, okay, let's get back to talking about YouTube as therapy. So, what I found being an aspie is one of the problems that I have is having full-fledged conversations. Especially being the person that I am. Because I have this really weird persona where people like highly respect me for whatever reason. Again, as I say, it's always so funny. Because they always wonder how such a smart person can be so stupid. And I always just want to sit there and look at them and go, maybe I'm not actually being stupid. So you're the one saying I'm smart, right? You're saying I was right about this, yes. You're right about this, yeah. About this, yeah. But now, this particular thing, because you don't like the answer, I'm stupid. I'm just saying. But anyways, so one of the problems that I have in life is that doing conversations is pretty difficult because there's this whole thing that Aspies or whatever the hell I am lack, and it's called intuition. So intuition is essentially nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is massive for communication because it's like a timing mechanism. It's like the syn-act communication between computers, basically making sure that the computers know whose turn it is to talk and all that kind of stuff. What the hell was that? Kind of think about it for me, like that kind of thing just doesn't exist. Syn-act, right? Basically, you say, I'm ready for information, and I just lump that shit up and I send it in a burst. Here's 10 gigs of information in 3 seconds. Do something with it, right? So the problem is with conversation, there's a lot of times I have issues with conversation. Because one, it's difficult for me to have a conversation because I rarely know when to break it. Two, I don't really care what my opinion is. Again, I know a lot of people think this sounds a little stupid, especially me being a YouTuber. But I don't. Like what I am interested in is learning other people's opinions. Because that's what's valuable. Information is valuable to me. So if I already know something, then I already have it. I don't, if I have $100 in the bank, I don't need to go and take a look at the $100. I know that it's there. I don't need to mess with it anymore. I don't need to earn, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are like, oh, look, I have $100. I don't care. So if I have information, I don't really care if the other people know it. So like one of the issues that I run into is like people will come to me like for information. They will specifically come to me for information. They will pay me for information, and then they'll sit there and they'll talk at me for an hour. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, whatever. You're paying me, so I guess I'll sit here and listen to you for an hour. And actually, surprisingly enough, a lot of people have good information. But it's really one of those funny things. Like, they're so focused on making sure that I know where they're coming from, that they end up, completely, forgetting the fact that they contacted me because they had a problem. And I'll just sit there, it's like, you contacted me because you had a problem you need an answer for, and you spent an hour telling me all about yourself. I mean, oh well, whatever, fuck, I'm getting paid. But I'm not really... I've got your $1 million answer, but you won't give me enough time to actually say it, right? And so that's a problem, like people talk. And then the other thing too is I found, like I was talking about this with my wife, is that that a lot of people, since they are so impressed with me, apparently, that they want me to be impressed with them. And so that's one of the reasons that they talk, is they're trying to like talk so much so that I can see how cool they are. Of course, they don't understand. I don't give a shit how cool they are. I really don't care. You're not that cool. Again, what? What do you mean? Because again, if I want information, if I want to go talk to somebody because I need information, I'm an ass. I'll walk up to a CEO and be like, excuse me, you are the CEO for this company. Yes, I need information. Who are you? It would be best if you give me the information. Oh, okay. Why is this strange person asking me something, right? So I go to the people that I need the information from. Go ahead. But anyways, this whole thing is like, so what I find in life is a lot of times when I'm having quote unquote conversations with people, I can barely get out a full sentence. Because one, that whole intuition thing, that intuit thing, nonverbal communication doesn't work out too well. And then two, they just want to talk so much. I mean, the fact that anybody would give somebody enough room that they could actually talk, they just talk over me. And then three, they want me to be impressed with them for some reason, even though they don't seem to realize that's just not going to happen. And so then again, they keep talking about it. And so usually I can barely get out a sentence, even when somebody is like literally paying me for advice. And so one of the things that I've ended up liking about YouTube content creation is I can actually get a full thought out. Again, because like a lot of people laugh about my videos being an hour long, but this is about how long it takes to get a full thought out. Because if I'm really going to discuss a thought, if I'm really going to talk about something, then you have to talk about it from about 20 different angles. Because again, everything is situational. And so if you're asking for an answer, well, there is an answer for this situation, this situation, this situation, this situation. And you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what should I eat? Eli, what should I eat? Well, then we have to talk about, do you have any allergies? Do you have any problems with foods? Then we have to talk about what are the religious connotations? Are you Jewish, Muslim, or something else? And then we have to talk about, are you trying to lose weight or gain muscle? And then we have to talk about what time of day it is. You're like, Eli, what should I eat? And I don't know. Is it midnight, or is it noon, or is it 6 in the morning? Right? Like this is how my brain works. Like there's all of these. When you ask me something like, what should you eat? There's 1,000 different answers to that. And it really depends on the situation. You know, if you're a Muslim bodybuilder and it's 6 o'clock in the morning after you did an hour workout, then what you should eat is going to be different than if you're, I don't know, a vegan who's trying to lose weight and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? I think that makes sense. Everybody else thinks that's fucking like, oh, that's so weird, Eli. Eli, you come up with this weird thought thing. So what I like about doing these YouTube content creation is I find it is therapeutic after a fashion, because I actually get to get out my full ideas when even, like I say, in the business world, usually can't get them out. The nice part that I found was in the tech world, when you're talking about servers and all that, I could get out complete ideas because most people figured that they were stupid and didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So you sit there with the CEO and you start talking about like Active Directory replication. And that's the one time when the CEO will shut their damn mouth. They're not gonna be talking over you. You're gonna be like, okay, let me see if I can dumb this down. And for once, they will actually keep their mouths a little shut for a minute. All right, let me see if I can do this. Yep, this really is how you do it. Oh, golly, how am I not gonna die in this country? I don't know. Woo, woo. Oh, there we go. How's my pulse doing? Pulse is doing good. Pulse is doing good. About 180 right now. Like I say, all these tuk-tuk drivers, they look at you and like, what the hell? These white people are stupid. White people, they're so smart and so stupid all at the same time. I just don't understand. How did they take over the world? It's just ridiculous. Anyways. So therapeutic. So even for somebody like me who got into YouTube, absolutely and utterly not for therapy. Again, I'm not friends with any of you yahoos. I've got my own friends. I've got my own wife. I did have my own dogs. I don't have dogs anymore. But basically, as I say, love and compassion and all that kind of crap, I do not look for YouTube. YouTube is a business. All of that strict stuff. But even for me, like I say, I do find it a bit therapeutic in a way. And so this comes up to the big issue of the modern world, And what a lot of people are having problems with on YouTube is because what I'm seeing a lot more of is that more and more people are going to YouTube as a form of therapy. Basically, they don't feel like they're able to speak in the world. They don't feel like they have a voice. So just like when people talk to me and they won't shut up in order for me to give them a damn answer that they're paying me for, the same thing is true. Like, basically, they get onto YouTube and they hear about this YouTube content creator thing. And they've always had this dream of being on YouTube. I could be a YouTube content creator. I want to be famous. And the thing is at first, they do like one video and they feel like an idiot. But then they muscle through. Because Eli talks about the rule of 20, right? The rule of 20. I do at least 20 times. First time I feel like an idiot, that's fine. But then I'll do it the second time, and the third time, and the 10th time, and the 19th time, and then by the 20th time I will feel good. I will feel good. And it's true. So you go on and you do your first video and you feel like a complete moron. You do second video and you feel like an idiot. You do your third video and you're like, well, this ain't too bad. And you go up to your 20th. And then you're feeling comfortable. And then you're like, yeah, I am a creator. I'm a YouTube creator. I've created my 20 videos. I feel good. I feel good creating videos. And I don't have much of a following. I get like 1 subscriber a day, maybe. I get like 3 views a day. But hey, it's all good because I'm a creator. Kind of like with Lewis. And all I really wanted to do was do these videos anyway. I don't care how many subscribers I have. I don't care about how much money I have or any of that kind of stuff. Right? And so you do that. But you're a little sheepish. You hold some stuff in. You hold some stuff in. Because, you don't want to seem crazy. I mean, you're a creator. You're not crazy or anything. I mean, it's like, you're getting something off of your chest. You're not talking to the camera as if it's a friend or anything. And so, you go along, you create more and more content, and that content is more or less, pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. If you're a tech vlogger, you talk about tech. If you're a health vlogger, you talk about health. And it's pretty fucking formulaic. It looks like, the first 100 videos that every successful vlogger has ever done. You look at the first 100 videos of any kind of vlogger, and they all kind of sort of look the same. They look like they went to the same, paint by number book and painted their little vlogs, which is fine. That's how everybody does it. But here's the thing, right? So they sit there and they start feeling more comfortable and more comfortable. They're starting to feel better. They're still they're able to talk easier and they're able to do these things. They talk about these things that they weren't able to before. But then here's the thing, and then here's the dangerous thing. And then they start to see that they're not getting 1 subscriber a day. They're getting 2 subscribers a day. And then they get like 1,000 subscribers. And then they get like 5,000 subscribers. And then they get 10,000 subscribers. And it's always so adorable with people like 10,000 subscribers because they're always so impressed with like 10,000 subscribers. They're like, look, I have 10,000 subscribers. Aww. I've had weeks I've gotten 10,000 subscribers. But anyways, but the thing is to them, I mean, that means people are listening. That means people are listening. And that means, and this is the dangerous point, people want to hear what I have to say. And then that's when everything starts the long, horrible spiral to hell. Because basically, what then gets into this person's head, this is a person that for whatever reason has not been able to communicate with the world in the way that they want to. They feel that they've been isolated. They feel that they haven't been able to get their ideas and thoughts out. And then they've been learned how to talk, which is a good thing. Good thing, again, public communication skills. You can't say anything wrong about public communication skills. But then they start to get the idea that people want to hear what they have to say, that their opinion now is obviously important. Now, they told their mama that, and they told their daddy that, and they've been telling that to people for years, that their opinions are important. But nobody has paid attention. Nobody has given them the respect that they deserve. But now YouTube viewers are hearing the message. And so the problem is at this point, people go from basic cookie cutter stuff, if they're tech people talking about TCP/IP4 versus TCP/IP6, or motherboards, or whatever the hell else, or they're health people, they go from discussing what the hell a calorie is and why you should care, all the way until they start going into their deep, dark opinions about the universe. And things start to go very, 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 very badly. Because here's the thing, we all have very stupid thoughts. We all have very stupid thoughts that we should just not share to anybody. And when I say that, I will admit that to myself. Again, as I always say with my content, all of my vlogs, you may or may not realize it, but my vlogs are a bit like Disney movies. What do you mean, Eli? How are your vlogs like Disney movies? There's a couple of layers to the vlogs. It's a bit like Shrek. If you're a 12-year-old and you're watching it, you come away with one conversation. You come away with one line of thinking. You're 32, you come away with a bit of a different line of thinking. Exact same content. It's just whether or not you get the in jokes, I suppose you could say. Well, here's the thing, even with me, then there are the things that just don't need to be said. The reason is because they get a little bad. They get a little weird. They get a little politically wrong. It's not even politically incorrect. It's politically wrong. They're just the things that can stay in my brain and nobody needs to hear because they just be wrong. You just don't talk about it, right? It is stupid for that crap to come out of your mouth. Because again, it's kind of like smacking an autistic kid. Yeah, maybe there is some place where smacking an autistic kid, that there is a way to spin that where it seems like a good idea, but you know it's not, right? You know, as the words come out of your mouth and you say, I'm not going to get sued for this, right? You know you should just at that point keep your mouth shut, pat the kid on the head, and walk the fuck away. But you're like, no, if I say this right, if I put my opinion out there in the perfect way, then even though if other people did it or said it, it would be politically incorrect. If I do it, it will be revolutionary. And then everybody watches the video of you smacking the autistic kid and they go, no, you're just a fuckwad. But you see, that's a problem, right? So that's the thing. And so people get comfortable and they start talking more and more and they start getting wackier and wackier with their ideas. And then that's when things can go very, 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 very badly. Because now you went to YouTube and you found this as a way of catharsis, and now you have millions of people basically telling you you're a complete and utter moron, you're a complete and utter idiot, and you should go, if they're friendly about it, you should go kill yourself. And if they're not friendly about it, well, then you get the even more creative things. And so here's what I would say with YouTube as therapy. Is the first thing, basically, I would think of YouTube as being therapeutic, but not therapy. What do I mean by therapeutic, not therapy? It's kind of like exercise is therapeutic. So if I was worried about having a heart attack, I might start running 2 miles a day to be, I guess, therapeutic, as a way to try to generally prevent a heart attack. It would not be the one and only thing that I have. So if I knew I had high cholesterol, and I knew 10 people in my family died before 50 from heart attacks, then I wouldn't only do yoga, or I wouldn't only do running. It'd be one of the things I would do, being therapeutic. It's one of those things. What would be more important is that I go out there and I actually take, Crestal or Lipitrol, or I become a fucking banana vegan or something like that, right? That is what is actually going to functionally heal you and keep you in check. The running or the yoga or the whatever else is just one of those overall nice things. It's like, it gives you the +1. If you're doing like Dungeons and Dragons, the important thing is to have the double-handed, the two-handed sword. And then you get a little +1 for fire or something. You know what I'm saying? And so what I would say with people that get into YouTube, and they're finding it as a form of therapy, is to think of it as a therapeutic. It is one of the things that you should be doing in order to try to make yourself feel better with life, right? And so with a lot of people, so you go out there, you start talking about your ideas. It allows you to get your ideas out there. It allows you to have a little bit of conversation. But then, as I say, for love, affection, family, and all that kind of stuff, find a girlfriend. Again, when I need love and affection, I do not go to my YouTube subscribers. Again, it's so horrible. Like, I was watching Francis. It's not Francis. It's Boogie, right? I was watching Boogie. And I like Boogie. I actually do like Boogie. All right, am I gonna die now? Ooh, fuck. I actually like Boogie. And I was watching Boogie, and he was talking about this whole thing about how much he he doesn't want to offend any single subscriber he has. He has like 3.5 million subscribers. And he cares about each and every one. You know, bullshit. And I found that to be like so sad and so depressing. And one of the things that I would say is basically all of that is doing is setting yourself up for failure, right? So like when I do content and I'm talking to you folks, I would like to learn things from like-minded people. But I don't want to make all of you happy because I'm just not going to do it. If I set myself up, I've only got 4,000 subscribers on this channel. If I set myself up to try to make 4,000 subscribers happy, that's just going to be complete and utter misery. I can't even imagine being stupid enough to try to make 3.5 million subscribers happy. You can tell Boogie has said that. Because again, he's just setting himself up for misery with that. But, so the thing that I would say is think about YouTube as therapeutic. So you don't feel like you get to converse enough in the world. You don't feel you have this outlet for computers or for fitness or for LARPing, whatever the hell it is you do. Right? You can use YouTube as a way to try to present your views to the world, and that makes you feel better. And then you can get viewpoints from other people to kind of help you figure things out, right? So I don't know if you're a LARPer, so LARPer, live action role-playing people, right? And so you could do a vlog on how you made your double-handed bastard sword. And that makes you feel good, right? Because you made a vlog talking about a double-handed bastard sword. And so you're an expert in double-handed bastard swords. You're like, look, I can show the world how cool I am at double-handed bastard swords. And then somebody else can say, well, that seems like a very good double-handed bastard sword, but the way that I make double-handed bastard swords is... And you go, wow. And then you can have this conversation, and now you have two of the world-renowned experts on foam-padded, double-handed bastard swords, like, conversing together. And that feels good, right? Having conversations with like-minded people feels good. Again, I like having the little back and forth with Lewis. That's a good thing. I mean, I do worry about Lewis a little bit right now. His like opinion on this whole weightlifting, health people thing, I'm a little worried about him. But it's fine, you know, other than that, it's good. You know, you have this little back, you have this little forth thing. Again, it's therapeutic. Am I going to go to Lewis for love and affection and BFF? Fuck no. But a little back and forth from two geek professionals that happen to do YouTube, that is therapeutic. It's not therapy, it's therapeutic. It's one of those nice things, right? But what I see is like, the problem is that most people then start trying to take this whole thing too far, and they start trying to take far too much from the whole YouTube creator experience. And then that's when everything starts going really badly. Like I say, like if you look at Boogie, I mean, poor Boogie. I feel bad for Boogie. If you go and watch Boogie's videos lately, man, he talks about being abused every which way from Sunday. It's like mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. The poor boy is like 450 pounds, like pure. You just watch him and you're just like, oh, you poor bastard. But I didn't really feel too bad for him. I really honestly didn't feel too bad for him until literally I saw the video today. And the video today was where he was talking about he wasn't sure what kind of content that he should be doing. Because he was doing this he's been doing this different type of content, and then he's been getting like mean comments from people. And then he sits there and he's like, but I just want to make everybody happy. I just want everybody to like my content. And I sit there, I'm like, am I fucking missing something? And then I look, and again, like I said, he has 3.5 million subscribers. And you're like, you poor dumb bastard. You're not going to make everybody happy. It's just not gonna happen. Like, try to make 2 million subscribers happy. Maybe, maybe on a good day, right? But you have these people, and that's the thing, is they get so drawn into it. And again, this is where, like on my main channel, where I get so snarky about viewers. Like I say, go unsubscribe at will. I don't like you. I don't know you. I don't care if you get hit by a bus. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe you would say that. It's like, because I'm a content creator. This is my job. This is a business. Again, it's a bit therapeutic. Again, but it's not like, I'm not going to take it as personal. If you don't like my content, I'm just going to block you. Oh no, like somebody today, I don't know, they're being an asshole in one of my videos. It's like, oh no, somebody doesn't like the videos that I do, and they're trashing me about it, and block. Right? But a lot of people, like, they get so into it. And so the issue that's going on now is that people are using this as their main outlet for dealing with humans, as their main way for talking, as their main way for communication. It's not therapeutic, it's full-on therapy. Again, like I say, when we're talking about it being therapeutic, it's if you don't feel like you're communicating with the world, then you use YouTube as to be therapeutic, as in you can start conversing with people about your double-handed foam broadsword. But then at the same time, you then go to the therapist and most likely get some good drugs. Most likely. I'm not saying you have to get drugs, but hey, let's be honest. Most people that have real serious issues, they really need drugs. All these people are like, oh, you don't need drugs. Shut up, you're stupid. I know so many people with like medical like severe mental health problems, and so many of them are like, oh, drugs are horrible, drugs are stupid, I would never do drugs. And then like 4 years later, it gets so bad, they're like, I guess I'll take a pill. I don't see any other way. And then like a year after that, they're like, life is wonderful. Why did I ever think pills are bad? Pills are great. That's right. That's right. Eli, the failed normal guy, is telling you kids, sometimes it's okay to do drugs. Like, not only sometimes is it okay to do drugs, sometimes it is quite preferable to drugs. Some of the smartest people in the world do a lot of drugs. Legal drugs, but drugs nonetheless. But anyways, so go get therapy, right? Therapeutic versus therapy. But that's the thing. It's like so many people are starting to get into this whole little world where they're doing therapy, and then the problem is that then they just run into a huge number of issues. Because again, right, you know, if I look at all of you unwashed masses out there as unwashed masses that happen to pay me half a cent every time you watch one of my videos so that I can pay the bills, then when you call me a bastard, or when you call me any of those normal horrible things that you call me, then I don't really care. It doesn't really matter, because you're not my friends, you're not my loved ones. I don't get, oh look, yet another moron who wants something is telling me what I'm doing wrong. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I cared? Or I don't care. But if you get a lot of these people who, again, they start taking all of this emotional invested interest in YouTube content and the whole YouTube community and all that kind of stuff, that's when you can start having a lot of problems, because that's when again you start opening up. Because again, right, you know, you don't open up to that person that you meet at the coffee shop once. You don't tell them everything that you believe. You only do that with a friend. And so that's the thing, is that most people, you know, when they start with YouTube, they don't really talk about their deep, dark secrets. They just talk about the normal zany stuff that's on top. But then as they realize how much that they care about the YouTube community and how much the YouTube community cares about them, they start opening up more and more and more and more. And then their nutty crap comes out. And then that's where the whole community can turn on you in a heartbeat. Because they're not your friends, they're not your buddies. And it's not a fucking community, it's a platform, right? And so the issue that you run into then is you have a lot of people that are very psychologically fragile, or then going to YouTube, basically using YouTube as therapy. And then it's essentially like the therapist rapes you and then puts your face on a billboard in the middle of the city and says that you did it, right? That he did it. Basically, it all gets out there and it all gets bad really, really, really quick. So what I would argue, the big thing is if you're using YouTube and you start to think of it as any kind of therapy, think it's good for your psychological well-being, the first thing that I would say is just make sure that it is therapeutic. Again, it is good. It is a good, nice thing to talk with other people about your double-handed foam broadsword. And I know some people are laughing out there. They're like, how did he know I was an expert in double-handed foam broadswords? This man is brilliant. This man just reads my mind. But you know, that's good. I mean, because again, talking with people with your same interests is good. It's good for the brain. But again, there's a difference between talking with people about double-handed broadswords and then talking with people about when your nanny shoved her pinky up your ass when you were 2 years old. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, most people don't seem to get the line. They get the line. No. We are all okay with talking about double-handed broadswords. I don't need to know about pinkies up your butt. I just keep that away, right? So basically what I would say is always make sure with YouTube that you realize that it is not a community. These are not your friends. These are not your buddies. These are not your loved ones. And anybody saying otherwise, including Boogie or Francis or whatever you want to say, is a complete and utter moron. It's just a bad way to think about things because it is going to set you up for misery. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing. So think about it as therapeutic. If it's a good way to communicate with like-minded people. If you're still having issues, then you need to go out and, like I say, and get real therapy. Now, the next thing you need to think about is, let's say you're one of the buddies of somebody like Jason, right? Let's say you actually do care about Jason Genoa. Is that his name? He's the very, very, very autistic weightlifting guy that just got smacked by Rich Piana. Don't smack autistic people. Again, the words come out of your mouth. I'm not gonna get sued for this, right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Those are the words. Those are the last words you say before you do something. Just don't do it. Just stop, right? But anyways, one of the things to be thinking about too is, like, so let's say you have a friend who gets onto YouTube, because again, everybody wants to be a YouTube content creator. Everybody thinks that their success is going to come from YouTube. And again, as I say, I don't know why any of us are successful, one way or the other. I have no idea why the hell you people listen to me. Really don't. Again, as I talk with people, I can tell you how to be more successful. I can't tell you how to be successful. Again, once you have 50,000 subscribers, we can have a conversation about how to get to 100 and 250 and the rest of it. How you get from 0 to 50, hell if I know. Yeah, right. But the thing is, so there's a lot of people that are trying to create content on YouTube, and they're going to be content creators. And one of the issues that you run into is you look at their stuff, and especially if they're autistic or something else, and you start to think about it, and you're like, yeah, this shit's not appropriate. Order 66ing people is probably not a good idea. So one of the things, and again, this is where men need to start being men. Men need to stop worrying about the dumbbells so much, and they need to start learning to be men. Here's the thing. If your buddy is doing something like order 66ing people, or starts talking about their personal experience with sexual abuse, or any of this other stuff, a man needs to come into their life and go, hey, why don't we start creating content about double-handed foam-covered broadswords? I think that's what people really care about. Because there's a certain thing, like, you don't want to crush a YouTube content creator's ambitions. Again, the person that you're talking to might be the next Markiplier. Again, who the hell knows why Markiplier's popular? I know, right? But there's a difference between crushing somebody's ambitions and simply steering them away from, you know what, nobody needs to know about the pinky up your butt. Your therapist needs to know about the pinky up your butt. But that's about it, right? And so one of the things you need to be thinking about is, if you have friends that are content creators and you watch their content and they start doing truly, like, socially unacceptable things, is basically you need to go in there and gut check them and say, listen, you really need to stay away from this. You really need to stop doing this. This isn't acceptable. Again, that's one of the lessons that I learned way back when with that old military, paramilitary training crap I got back in the day. It's like, what a lot of people don't realize is there's something called the force continuum with police. There's a force continuum. And so all anybody knows about the force continuum is either non-lethal force or lethal force. Or, less than lethal. It's not non-lethal, it's less than lethal. It's theoretically less than shit. They should put that in, like, with a couple of stars. Theoretically less than lethal in many situations. But, all right. So when you talk about the force continuum, all anybody thinks about is that the lethal force, getting shot, or the less than lethal theoretical force, basically getting pepper sprayed or tasered. But they don't realize there's actually 4 levels to the force continuum. The first level is actually simply presence. Presence is considered a part of the force continuum, or at least it was back in my day, part of the force continuum. So if you have drug dealers on a corner, and a police officer walks up to the corner across the street and stares at them, that is in fact a form of force. And most drug dealers realize that there are a few more layers to that, there are levels to that force continuum, and so they will leave. The police officer does not need to pull out a gun. The police officer does not need to pull out a taser. The police officer simply needs to stand on the opposite corner of the street and look very sternly at them. And then they will scurry off. Sadly, probably just to another street corner, but at least they're not on that street corner, right? So that's the first level of force. Then the second level of force is a verbal force. Like, wow, Do you mean police officers can stop your heart simply with the words? No. Verbal force is then if the police officer is on the other corner and he's staring at the drug dealers, and the drug dealers are just drugged and so they don't know what's going on, and the police officer's, hey, what are you doing over there? And they go, oh no, it's a police officer, run, right? And that is a form of force. And you're like, okay, well, this is interesting. Every time I listen to Eli, I need to come up with a new name, because I don't want to be Eli the computer guy all the time. Every time I listen to Eli, the guy, he told me new things, but I don't understand what this force continuum has to do with YouTube. It's interesting and all, but what does this have to do with YouTube? Well, I would argue, being a friend, being a man or a woman, being a fucking adult to your friend who's on YouTube, is one of the things, is I would argue, is that you should use a little presence force just to remind your friend who's creating content that you are in fact watching their videos. I am watching you, right? My wife does this all the time. She never keeps it to the watching, though. She always goes to the verbal force. But again, simply knowing that your friends or your loved ones or somebody that you vaguely care about, not just those masses out there, are watching the videos, makes people psychologically kind of keep themselves in check a little bit, right? Because again, if you're a nanny, put a thumb up your ass when you were 2 years old, you may be willing to come out about that and to talk about that. But if you're thinking that your mom may then hear about this for the first time, then you may think, you know, maybe what I should do is go talk to the therapist about this first and then see what the therapist has to say, right? And again, it's one of those little psychological things, is if you know people that you know are watching your videos, you will be less likely to say things that are wholly and utterly and completely inappropriate. Right? It's just one of those things. Right? And again, I am not saying it's inappropriate. Again, pinky finger up your butt at 2 years old, you do need to tell somebody. Go to a therapist, and then go to a police officer. Just don't share it on YouTube. So I'm not saying don't share it at all. Definitely share it with a therapist. But again, like I say, YouTube. So, and then you sit there, and then you're sitting there, and you're watching your friend do all this stuff. Your autistic friend, your friend that needs a few more friends, or just doesn't know when the hell to shut up sometimes. And then you realize that they're still talking. They're still talking. And so one of the things you can do is you can do a comment, maybe. Hey, I'm watching your videos. I didn't realize this about your nanny. And pinky fingers. Maybe we should talk about this a little bit later. Or, if you don't want to call them out actually on the video, just simply go talk to them and say, hey, look, I was watching your video about your nanny putting a pinky finger up your ass when you were 2, and I didn't realize that happened. You know, if I were you, I'd be a little concerned about how that would play out. So I would say, why don't we make that video private, and then let me help you find a therapist, right? So that's what I would say from the friend standpoint. Because again, like a lot of these content creators, again, they may not have enough friends. They may not have the right friends. But normally they have friends. They have people that vaguely care about them. Again, parents, moms, parents, grandmas, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, again, your grandma, your mom looking at you going, what? That'll get you to think. If you know your mom is watching your content, you got to think a little bit differently about it. Again, it's just one of those psychological. I know my wife watches. I keep telling her to stop. It's like, stop watching that asshole. You're sitting there watching that ass. He's an ass. And she keeps watching. And so I know, I check myself a little bit. I actually have to force myself not to check. And that's one of the reasons I can say this about the verbal and the nonverbal force, is because I actually have to stop myself from checking myself because I know she watches the videos. Like, I know she watches the videos, and so every once in a while, like, she'll bring it up and be like, well, I'm not sure if I would say it that way. And then, like, literally, I'm sitting there talking in the camera, and then it comes into my head where she said, well, I'm not sure I would say it that way. And so then I, like, say it exponentially worse, because I'm like, yeah, you're not a YouTube content creator. So you're telling me not to? No, we're gonna step this up a notch. She's like, what? But Eli, sometimes it seems like I tell you something and then you step it up a notch. I'm like, really? Shocking. I don't know why you think that. I would never do that. That's just so wrong. An asshole would do that. It's not like you married an asshole or anything. Anyways, but I know that because, like I said, like, she actually talks about this stuff. Or she'll bring things up to me, and then, like I say, for me, it's kind of weird. It's almost the opposite thing, where I remember some of the advice that she gave me, and like I say, 90% of the time, I kick it up a notch. And 10% of the time, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to back off there. But most of the time, I kick it up a notch. Most of the time, I do like what I said before, where she was telling me I needed to apologize to Louis Rossmann. And so I told Louis Rossmann from the bottom of my heart, Louis, from the bottom of my heart, my wife wants me to apologize to you. I'm not going to. Still not sure why the fuck I'm supposed to apologize. From the bottom of my heart. Right, but think about that. Even though that sounds like a joke, even though that sounds funny, that actually is a real thing. So at least Louis Rossmann knows that somebody from my camp wants me to apologize. I'm not sure what good that is, but I'm sure it's good a little bit, right? So that's one thing to think about. So if you have friends, if you have family going into doing YouTube content creation, I would argue actually watch their stuff. And then again, if they start getting way off the reservation or whatever, just tell them, look, this is not appropriate for YouTube. Because they may bitch and they may moan and they may say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But a lot of times that kind of stuff sticks in their head, right? And so again, that's just a simple way to check. So again, like I say, with this whole guy doing Order 66's Jason G whatever, right? You know, who the hell is in his life just telling him, stop doing Order 66s. Just stop. Again, it's wrong for somebody 300 pounds to smack you. On the other hand, a lot of people understand why the guy wanted to. Again, there's a difference between wanting to do something and doing something. A lot of people in this world that understand, like, right? Anyways, so that's the first. So if you have a friend or whatever, right? Then the next thing that I would say is, well, what do you do? What do you do if you see people on YouTube that, again, are acting inappropriately and all of this kind of stuff? Like, how do you deal with that? Again, like I say, with this Jason guy or whatever else. And I would argue, for the most part, you leave them the fuck alone. And hopefully, they will find therapy elsewhere. Because basically what you find out when you deal with people with like real mental issues that go onto YouTube is the problem is that they have real mental issues. And again, unless you're a full-fledged therapist or unless you're a full-fledged psychologist, that you don't have any place trying to tell them what to do, right? I mean, you don't know. I mean, do you know that Asperger's was declassified or whatever as a disorder? I found that out. Hey, I know what I have. Oh, you don't have that. Why don't I have it? Because we stopped recognizing it. What? Right? But do you know these things? Do you know the difference between depression and all that kind of stuff? And so I would say generally just stay away from these people and let them figure it out on their own. Because again, the issue is, like I say, with like Jason, right? So if you look at him and you look at Jason as a pure dyed-in-the-wool autist, like you look at him, and unfortunately I look at him and go, yeah, like, oh, by the grace of the spaghetti monster, you know, there goes I, right? And you look at it, one of the problems is, especially when you can't communicate with the world properly, again, right, you know, everybody always thinks about success as best case scenario, right? So best case scenario for this kid is he goes out there, he finds a loving woman who marries him, they have kids, and wonderful, blah, 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 blah. That's the best case scenario. He starts creating content that everybody loves and people respect him and people contact him in order to collab and all that kind of stuff. Wow, isn't that the way Disney movies work? But of course, this is failed normal. Don't deal with Disney movies. The problem is that people will take the best option on the table. Kind of like with employers. They don't hire the best. They hire the best option on the table. And so if you have a kid like Jason, and he's completely and utterly autistic, and he can't communicate with anybody appropriately, and he is reaching out, trying to communicate with people, and they're basically dumping him in the spam bin. Which again, I understand. Again, I'm not here for morals or ethics. I'm not telling people what they should do. I would throw him in the spam bin. Right? Why do I want to deal with that crap? The problem is then, right? So he's getting nothing at that point. He's getting no emotional feedback at all. So the issue is, if he goes and he starts doing Order 66s, so again, what autists do, they go out there and they find a book, or they find some how-to manual, or they read a blog post somewhere, and somebody says, well, the way that I found, some blowhard dumbass says, the way that I get people to work with me is like I threaten them or something, and then they realize how cool I am, that they have to work with me, and then once they work with me, they realize it was a wonderful experience, and they keep doing it. And so you have like this autist go, oh, and so they go out and they start doing something like order 66s. Okay, I'm going to start trying to force people to do things with me, so I'm going to order 66 everybody. Now you look at it, and I look at it, and everybody that has just a little bit of functionality left in the brain looks at it, and they think this is bad. All you're going to do is piss off these people. And guess what? Puts out the order 66, and all that happens is people get pissed off. But what people don't think about, but they're also talking about him. And it may be hate mail, but they're sending him mail. And it may be hate comments, but they're leaving comments. And so all of a sudden, this person is getting reaction. They're getting interaction. It's not healthy interaction. It's not what we would consider good interaction. But here's the thing. And again, you take the human mind is set up to take the best option on the table. So unhealthy interaction trumps no interaction. And so then what happens is they start feeding into this thing because at least somebody cares now. They may care in the wrong ways. They may care in the very, very bad ways. But they care. And so unfortunately that then starts feeding into the cycle because, well, now people are paying attention to me. You're like, oh, mother fudder, right? So I would argue with most of these people, kind of like I would say with that psychotic nut that fucking sucker punched his own student, that weightlifting nut. Kind of like him, I would deal with these people with big kid gloves. You are nuts. I'm going to deal with you as little as possible. I'm going to interact with you as little as possible because frankly, I have no idea what any interaction with you will do. All I know is inertia. If I push you some way, it will keep going. I'm just not really sure where it's going to be going, right? And basically stay away from these folks. I would argue stay away from any kind of these really, really nutty folks just entirely. Again, not to support or to hinder them either way. Because again, the problem is that you don't know how your influence is going to affect them. If you don't know them personally and you call them an idiot, being called an idiot is possibly better than not being called anything at all, right? Patting on them on the head and telling them, hey, whatever, they're doing something good, they may interpret that means everything that they're doing is good. Again, like I say with this Order 66 person, you go, hey, I see your videos, and you try to be nice. Yeah, I like your weightlifting videos. Yeah, look at that, Order 66 is working. No, fuck, that's not what I said. Not what I said. Right? So I would say just generally stay away from them. And then the next thing is, like I say, with any kind of YouTube content creators, if you're going to be interacting with them, again, just realize that they are human beings and that you should interact with them differently. Again, there's this whole idea like YouTube content creators are kind of out of like one mold or something. They're all the same. And again, we are all entirely different. I really don't give a damn, like I say, if you all get hit by the bus by the dozen. Baker's dozen. Take them out 13 at a time, right? Doesn't matter to me, right? Again, if you call me, oh, you're an asshole. Again, like I say, I just block. Again, for a little while there, for like a year, I wasn't sure what to do with these people. It's like, oh, what should I do with these people? And then like one day I was just tired. Like, fuck it, I don't care. Block. Eli, won't that affect your revenue? I don't care. I will give up $1. I will give up $1 not to deal with these bastards. Block. But one thing to realize, like with all the YouTube content creators, is that we all are psychologically different. And so also, if you're going to be working in this community, that you should just kind of realize that, especially if you're going back and forth with other content creators. So like with me, like I'll give Lewis a lot of crap. Because everything I know about Lewis, although he may need some therapy of some sort, he kind of needs like the normal therapy. Probably needs a therapy that I need. You know, I actually went to get therapy once. Again, you know when the spaghetti monster has an opinion of you? Here's when the spaghetti monster has an opinion of you. You gotta go to therapy. Because you're feeling like about the most nuts you've ever felt in your life. You're like, how do you deal with this? Right? And you go to the therapist. And you go through all the checklists. And you go through the hour consultation, and the therapist looks across the table at you and goes, I don't understand what the problem is. You seem pretty normal. And you're like, what? This is what you people are like all the time? That's why you're fucking nuts. But anyways, I went to a therapist once, and they said I was normal. I was like, oh my God. Anyways, but I can give Lewis a lot of crap, because as long as I don't go over, like, I would argue any of the normal lines, like any of the normal lines you wouldn't with a normal human being, I don't think I'm going to go over any of those lines. He knows what I'm talking about. I know what he's talking about. We can push and pull and give each other crap. And again, like I said, and again, at the end of the day, my wife wants me to apologize. On the other hand, there are other people out there that you do have to be careful about. You do have to think about. Like I would not give Barnacules nearly as much crap ever as I would give Lewis. Like, oh, why is that, Eli? Well, because Barnacules comes out on his own videos and he talks about his horrible issues with depression, and he talks about his horrible issues with gout, and he talks about his horrible health issues, and he talks about his kid having like really severe autism, and he talks about all of these like really hard, heavy problems. And so, like with the Barnacules, I'll probably always teach him or treat him relatively speaking, with kid gloves. Again, not like manly disrespect. Just because when somebody comes out and they say that they're like balls out, I have chronic depression or whatever. I'm not a therapist. Don't really know how to deal with people that way. And so I think that's one of the things too that you have to be thinking about with so many of these content creators is you have people all over the spectrum, and even people that you don't realize are a bit bat nutty are. And again, even successful ones. You know, I bring up John Green just because he's a good example, right? So John Green, multi best-selling author, books turned into movies. You know, I was watching one, made $330 million. Pretty good, right? That's pretty good if it doesn't have Thor in it, you know. You know, he does the Vlog Brothers thing, he does VidCon thing, just across the board. You can't. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody like across the board that is that successful in so many kind of like new creative endeavors. Again, best-selling author that's created movies off of that. That's created the Vlog Brother channel with like 3 million subscribers. That's created VidCon, which is its own huge thing. Which has created the Don't Forget to Be Awesome or whatever foundation that gives away millions of dollars. I mean, like he's created a lot of amazing things, like across a lot of different sectors. He is somebody that is truly impressive. But you know, if you watch his videos, he talks about depression a lot. He talks about, he turned off all of his comments for a while because he was completely and utterly depressed and couldn't deal with it, right? And so, you know, and that's one of those things to be thinking about is like, so even somebody like him, you're like, oh, well, obviously he's so sick, but you know, he's got all those things to deal with, and he talks about it pretty honestly. And so that's what I would say, like dealing with anybody in the YouTube community is just make sure that if you push on them or whatever, that you actually are dealing with people that are in fact stable. I think I got a little distracted because those people were looking at me. Of course it's the white people that make you feel weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like the brown people, the cappuccino people, yeah, they look at you a little bit. But they're all like, yeah, whatever. It's the white people that sit there and stare at you. You're like, what? What? Have you seen a man vlog before? Anyways. Oh, so those are my thoughts. Those are my hour and 15-minute thoughts on YouTube as therapy. It's actually I'm very happy that I swapped out the SD card. Because right before I did these videos, I have an SD card with all the videos from Angkor Wat and all that kind of stuff that I have to turn into videos for Angkor Wat. But in it only had like, an hour and 15 minutes of video left. And then I was sitting there and I was going to leave it in. And then I just had this thought in my head. I was like, you know what? What if randomly I speak for longer than an hour and 15 minutes? You know, then that would be a bad thing. And now I look at it, and I have been talking for longer than an hour and 15 minutes. Actually, not only have I been talking for longer than an hour and 15 minutes, because I know what you're going to do right now. You're going to be like, Eli, but this is like an hour and 30 minutes. And then I'm going to realize, that's right, way back when, like an hour and 15 minutes ago, I accidentally hit the stop button. And so we have all the video before then that gets added to this. So yeah. So lesson in life. If you have an empty SD card and a semi-full SD card and you're about to vlog, just put that empty SD card in, because you just never know when you're just going to start yabbering away, and if you don't have an empty SD card, it's really going to cause you problems. Again, one of those weird lessons of success in life. Again, I know that sounds stupid, like, yeah, no shit, Eli. But it really is. Like, think about that. Like, if I had used the SD card with an hour and 15 minutes, even though it seemed like more than enough time, I would be screwed right now, because I'd have to stop the video. But simply because I spent that extra 30 seconds to fish out the clean SD card and put it in, now I can keep yabbering on for another 2 hours if I wanted to. Don't worry, I'm not going to yabber on for another 2 hours. But theoretically, I could. Right? There wouldn't be any problems. So anyways, that's the thing with YouTube and therapy. Again, think of YouTube as therapeutic. Think about YouTube as therapeutic, not therapy. And I think it'll do better for you. Because again, I just see so many people, and again, like with Drama Alert, and again, one of the reasons why I like Drama Alert is because it shows you all the stuff going on with YouTube. And one of the things is again, and you know what I'm saying, like a smart person, a smart man, person, lady man, smart person. A smart person learns from their own mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And so one of the things that's been getting splattered all over Drama Alert for like the past 3 weeks is how many of these poor, psychologically unstable, autistic people have been getting their asses handed to them on YouTube. And they've been crying, and they've been getting smacked, and they've been threatening to commit suicide. And it's just one of those things. Like again, so if you're not quite mentally stable and you're a bit autistic, just look at Drama Alert and see what's happening to some of these folks and think, is this really what I want to get in the middle of? Or is there a way I can do things so that that's not me, right? Again, look, that autistic kid did Order 66. Should I do Order 66? Holy crap, he got smacked by a 300-pound guy. Okay, I'm not going to do Order 66. A wise person learns from the smackings of others. Be my thought. Anyways. Probably should need to go get some dinner. Get some good Cambodian Mexican. They have this Mexican restaurant here. It's not Mexican, but it's pretty good stuff. It's got like chips with some kind of dairy product on top that is a facsimile of nachos. And it has some quesadillas, which is like a fried bready substance with some kind of lactose in the middle. It's a pretty good stuff. And then it's got sour cream, which is it's white. I don't know what it is. It's white, and I imagine it comes from a cow. Hey, when in Cambodia, eat the white thing that comes out of a cow. You'll be fine. It's probably going to have some Mexican tonight. But yeah. I think with that, I'm about done. She's like, is there anything else to say? No, I don't think so. So, with that, I will give you a nice little view as all the little lights are turned on. I say Cambodia is very beautiful. It really is a beautiful place. It really is a beautiful place. If you get, Siam Reap is. I don't know about the rest of Cambodia. So if you do get a chance to come here to Siam Reap, I really can't say enough about Siam Reap. Again, we're running for our lives from Thailand. We're leaving Thailand. But I have to say, Siam Reap, again, in all honesty, so we had three nights originally booked, and then we got another 3, and then most likely we'll get another 3. We may not quite get 3. I have to start looking at plane tickets and all that. But again, it's gone from 3 nights to 9, just because it really is a really, really, really nice place, and the temples and all that are great and all that kind of stuff. So if you're backpacking or traveling through Southeast Asia, and you want a really cool place to chill out at that also has a lot of that good historic stuff, make your parents proud, definitely come here to Siam Reap. And with that, I'm going to figure out where the hell the hotel is and call it a day.